See shadow, it's all I know. Tell me now, where did you go? I lost the light, looking your eyes. How come you don't let it shine? I see shadow, it's all I know. Tell me now, where did you go? Tell me now, where did you go?
Fire signs, last but most certainly not least, welcome to your accidental weekly reading because I was too tired after I did earth signs after the new moon reading. But today is the 7th, so this will cover from the 8th until the 15th, so Saturday to Saturday for you guys. So I'm going to pick an overall energy from my shamanic healing oracle, which is actually the first oracle deck that I ever got. I'm going to pick an overall energy for you guys and then go into each individual sign. I'm going to start with Aries. So we'll do Aries, Leo, and then Sagittarius. So let's see what the overall energy for the week is. I don't have any intention of what should come up per se. I'm just setting the intention for whatever is of utmost importance to you all. But regardless of what comes up, we will cover love more in depth in the extended. So let's see what the overall energy for fire signs is for the week. Spirit, anything they need to know. What is the focus for fire signs for the week? Whoa. Whoa, that's interesting. Anger. I'm not calling you out, Aries. I'm not. Let's see what this is about. 2 plus 8, we got 10. So completion of a cycle. So I would go ahead and infer that this week is going to be something you guys are wrapping up energetically in reference to anger. So let's see what the bookie says. A very strong and primal emotion, anger sometimes catches us by surprise. At other times, it seethes just under the surface, simmering a long while until it boils over, scalding anyone who is close. Anger is based in fear. Fear of loss of control, fear of not being loved, fear of being judged, fear of not being enough. When anger enters your life, be it yours or someone else's, go beneath the surface and try to address the real fear that has triggered it. Anger doesn't go away without addressing the underlying fear. Alternatively, beware of someone else's anger directed towards you. Now that is interesting. Very, very interesting. I always say, therapeutically speaking, that whenever I see a person that's very angry, I always say that the height of a person's anger, right? So if you think about a person who like rages out, it always gives me insight into the depth of the pain that they're trying to hide, because anger is an emotion that when expressed, it pushes people away from you. Tying into what the card was saying, it makes a lot of sense, because if a person is wounded or hurting or fearful, what is anger going to do? It's going to push people farther away. So it's a sense of a self-protection mechanism. So we're going to go ahead and start with Aries. I'm going to pick a card to clarify in which way anger is going to be of importance to you for this week. And then we're going to go into the specifics of you guys' week. But that's always important to note, is to kind of sit and reflect on what triggered your anger and why. What is it that you're really feeling, or what is it that you're trying to protect yourself or what wound it is we're trying to mask or hide from. All right. Really, cards? Aries. Overall energy for Aries. Aries, Aries, Aries. Really right now? Don't make me retire, y'all. What is this? Okay, we have the Two of Swords in reverse, clarifying this. What that's looking like for me for the week for Aries is that you guys are going to be gaining clarity on what I just actually described. It's like becoming clear about what it is that's triggering you or the root of your anger towards something or someone. You know what I mean? Because the way that I'm kind of feeling it is, you know how sometimes it could be like a person that you just don't like? You know what I mean? Or something that people do that just irritates you. And it's like, I don't know why I don't like them. Or I don't know why that irritates me so much. I feel like you guys are going to be getting some clarity as to why that is. Because it feels to me like a bunch of little things that irritate you, and by the end of the day, like, you'll just be like wanting to rage out on someone. But I feel like you guys are going to be getting clarity on the specifics of why each of these little things bother you, right? So the first card we have for Aries for the week, if I could pick it up, there we go. We have the King of Wands in reverse. Yeah, it's a rager right there. It's challenged by the Five of Cups. Now that's very interesting. The thing that I get with this, Aries, because of course this is a fire sign person, this can represent you. I feel like the thing that you guys are going to realize is that your anger has literally been a defense mechanism for something that has hurt you deeply. You know what I mean? So I feel like you guys are going to get clear on that this week. And the challenge is going to be finally facing that, the grief or the sadness that's related to this thing, like facing it, confronting it head on, and beginning the healing process in reference to it. And it feels like something that may have hit you kind of deep, but I feel that the way that you have coped with this has been to react in anger. Another way we could look at this is in reference to a person in your life. It's realizing or applying the truth of this principle you guys are learning here in reference to anger to a person in your life who copes with a lot of things via anger, whether it be towards you or you seeing like witnessing them doing this to other people. Is starting to realize that this person is actually really hurting. And I mean, depending on the context in which this would be applied, it can provoke sympathy and it couldn't. If the person is just a flat out asshole, which the King of Wands in reverse could be, and if they're being an asshole to you, it's not to say to embrace the person and be like, oh my gosh, you can continue to treat me like an asshole because I understand that you're wounded inside. No, we're not saying that. You know what I'm saying? Unless the person has a realization like this and opens up to you in reference to it. I feel for some of you, it may be leaving a person behind as well. It could be a person who you guys have been latched on to, kind of enmeshed with, and they take a lot of their anger out on you, and it's more or less been trying to be helpful or almost like a savior kind of figure for this person, attempting to understand them and gaining clarity that this person has issues that they need to work through that may or may not have anything to do with you. And beginning that grieving process with releasing this person. And for a very small number of you, I feel like this could be losing a loved one or someone that you may have lost, and feeling a sense of anger because you feel that it's not fair that that you lost this person, and feeling kind of bitter about that. You know what I mean? And the challenge this week is going to be starting that grieving process or overcoming the grief in relation to this and gaining clarity on the situation, like putting it into perspective. Now, what we have in the past, we have the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. And this, for me, it's unfinished business. You know what I mean? And this, to me, kind of pings on that grief aspect. It's either feeling it's unfair to lose someone or feeling as if you were treated unfairly by an angry person. You know what I mean? And this could be romantic. Like I said, this could have something to do with loss. This could even have something to do with, you know, a job. But and feeling, how could I put it? It's feeling as if you ended up on the wrong side of the wheel, like literally being unfairly treated, and that bitterness coming up, like bitterness and anger, because it's feeling this isn't fair that that you ended up in this circumstance or this situation. But the whole goal in all of this is to really kind of sit with that anger and to get to the root of it, to find your truth of what it is that this is bringing up in you. Because I always say that every circumstance that we encounter in our lives, be it solo dolo or be it in reference to other people, right? Like other people that we encounter on a day-to-day basis, right? That it's always a lesson for us to learn in something, right? So nothing ever happens like happenstance. Like, you know, this thing happens, we don't know why it is that it happened, and it just happened just because, you know, there was no lesson to learn in it, and, you know, life just sucks and shitty stuff happens to me. It's not something like that. It's a need to kind of push through that emotion, because I always say when emotions happen, they're not happening for no reason. You know what I mean? If you're feeling sad, you're sad for a reason. If you're angry for a reason. If you're bitter, if you're frustrated, even if you're happy, it's for a reason. But the thing is we often have a shallow relationship with our emotions. We have a tendency to feel them, but not realizing that the emotions that come up are merely a symptom. And when they're like lower vibrational emotions, they're a symptom of a deeper problem. So these emotions are coming up because it's like your inner self is saying, hey, push into this because I need you to pay attention to something that's going on with me, right? Now, the underlying influence we have is the Page of Wands in reverse. And this isn't living your truth. It's like, I feel like in a sense, and I'm seeing a relation between these two, how I'm seeing the Page of Wands in reverse and the King of Wands in reverse is kind of like, how can I describe this? Because it's something that people say a lot. It's similar to, you know how people say time heals all wounds? Total bullshit. If you don't process wounds, time isn't going to do shit to them. They're just going to get mature and still hurt as much as they did. But I'm seeing this more or less in relation to a person, and this can be you guys or someone else that plays a significant role in your life. I feel almost as if the thought was with yourself or with someone else that, you know, something wounded you past tense, or you made a decision to deny yourself of something, like something that your soul cries out for. I'm denying myself of this, and I put myself under, in this energy, upright, I put myself under this false belief that somehow one day this is going to work out without me putting any time, energy, or effort in the direction of this thing, but it's just going to work out, right? So this is kind of manifesting to me three different ways. For an Aries person that would be looking at themselves individually, it would be like something that you wanted to pursue, right? So it's like a passion you wanted to pursue or a business that you wanted to start. It's like years ago, you were like, when the time is right, when my money is right, I'm going to do this particular thing. Now years have passed, and now you're at a point in your life where you feel it may be too late, but I'm here to tell you that it's not. But years have passed, and you may be looking at it in the perspective of either people got in the way of you pursuing your passion, or if it wasn't for the stupid job, or my money still isn't right. And it's like years have passed and you've matured and changed as a person and whatnot, but you're still sad because you thought time would change this thing, but it's like time has passed, and whatever this thing is that you're not going in the direction of is still in the same state that it was years ago, even though time has passed. if that makes sense, right? So time never allotted for this thing to manifest. And the whole message is here is to not feel sorry for yourself. You know what I'm saying? It's to actually take action and to manifest what it is that you want to manifest, right? Now, others of you who are parents, the way that this is coming up to me is overlooking an issue with a child. It's thinking, oh, they're going to grow out of it. Oh, you know, they're going to grow out of it in time. They'll work it out, da 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 da. And now your child is either like a teenager or like a prepubescent preteen, a teenager or an adult. And they're doing the same stuff they were doing as a child, as an adult, right? And it's almost as if it feels that the situation that they're dealing with right now that I feel like is causing you a sense of grievance is feeling as if that's unfair. But the thing that Spirit is showing me, it's not, because what they're doing on adult level is the same thing they were doing on child level, and time does not change people. So whatever it is that they weren't doing or doing, it's more or less they're doing the same thing as an adult. And that's kind of how that relates with the, like, thinking time fixes things. Time doesn't fix things, effort does, right? And so the same if we're talking about a relationship. So this would be my third group of people. This would be being in a relationship with a person for an extended period of years and thinking that they would outgrow it. You know what I'm saying? Like over time, like, oh, you know, they'll change, you know, he'll mature, like, and this is just a hypothetical illustration. If it's like a guy who, you know, ran around with a bunch of women and thinking, oh, you know, it's just because he's in his 20s and, you know, once we have babies and stuff like that, that'll stop. And it's like kind of realizing, having this realization that the behavior with this person has not changed. So it's like time does not change people. It's like effort, time, effort, and energy put into changing one's behavior is what changes people. So I'm seeing a similar thing as if this was a child as well, that with this person that you guys may or may not be dealing with, that they are still displaying the same issue they did many years ago. The only thing is that they're older, but they're still doing the same thing, right? And I feel like that's becoming clear to you guys now. You know what I'm saying? And there may be some like being pissed off about it. But the truth is that there's a need. The anger is like trying to block that pain. And again, this goes back to the challenge this week, is confronting the pain that's related to this anger that's kind of trying to overshadow it. And that also has a lot to do with a lot of times where, you know, it's more robust to display anger than sadness. So a lot of times we'll end up displaying anger as opposed to sadness. And that's something I can say that with me, I always joked about the fact my wires were crossed for a very long time. And it was actually my Aries son who pointed it out, is that he's like, Mom, he's like, I notice every time that you get sad or you're scared, it's like instead of like crying or being sad, it's like you'll get mad, right? And I was like, excuse me? But he was so right. And that brought attention to that for me. I was like, dude, I do that. And when I kind of pushed in to find out the truth behind that, it was because of a false core belief that I had about displaying sadness. It's like I equated being sad or crying with being weak. So it's like my pseudo strength and trying to step into my little toxic masculinity going on there was by displaying anger to make myself feel stronger, because in that moment I felt vulnerable, right? So it's not wanting to show that vulnerability to people. So that's kind of what it is that I'm sensing here. So our overall energy, we have the Two of Cups. So there has to be a balance here. So saying in the sense of, if this is like your personal thing where you see it's something that you haven't gone in the direction of, or something you've been denying yourself of, it's time for that to end and for you to find balance between the two. So it's like I said, you don't want to be passive and chuck it up to the universe like, oh, spirit will take care of it and one day everything's going to work itself out. It's like, nah. It's like there's some things that you leave up to spirit after you put time, energy, and effort into whatever it is you want to manifest. And it reminds me of what my granny used to always say, which is the Lord helps those who help themselves. So the thing that I'm seeing is here, one is not helping themselves. So it's like, it's not meeting halfway. It's just expecting for whatever this problem is, or whatever this passion is that you want to pursue, to somehow manifest itself out of nothing when you're not doing the effort to align with that particular energy, right? So that's the main thing that needs to be the focus. So there has to be a change in one's mindset and one's approach for my Aries that I'm talking to individually. Now, if we go into this being a child thing, there has to be a conversation of understanding balance, because this feels like extremism to me, right? And this could also be, and this could apply to anyone, where it's an extremism between depression and anger, and there not being an in-between, right? So something needs to be balanced out and unified here. So the same if it's with a partnership. If this is in reference to a partner and thinking that the problem was going to solve itself, there needs to be a meeting of the minds and an exchange about what it is that you're desiring from your partner, as opposed to hoping that it manifests, because it could be, you know, possibly that your partner has no freaking clue that what they're doing is wrong, and that's what you're asking for. But that can manifest for people a myriad of different ways, right? And moving forward, we have the Hanged Man in reverse. In the upright. Sorry. He is in the reverse, but the card is upright. But anywho, so with the Hanged Man, this falls into the energy that I was saying. It's like, I feel like for a lot of time with this Wheel of Fortune in reverse, it's kind of almost kicking you off kilter, because Spirit is like, yo, I'm trying to do my job here, but I need you to do yours as well. So it's that helping yourself is needing to identify what it is, the effort that has not been put into this thing, and creating this balance by waiting on Spirit after having done the work. You know what I'm saying? So the main thing that I'm seeing is here, there's been a lack of clarity in reference to one's approach or towards the thing that you've been going after, or what you've been hoping to manifest. You know what I mean? And I feel like where this grief kind of comes in with this is, I feel like it's more or less like a self grief. And what I mean by that is, it's kind of like confronting the fact that I was hoping this was going to work out. But I feel like the grief comes in the realization of like, oh, I had to do something. You know what I'm saying? So it's like changing your perspective. So instead of going into feeling sorry for myself, because it's like, oh, well, you know, I wasted all of these years. Instead of looking at it like that, it's kind of like being a G, picking yourself up from the bootstraps, seeing what it is that's lacking in the situation, and picking yourself up to put effort into it, as opposed to crying over spilled milk. You know what I'm saying? Because it's doing you no justice. And another thing Spirit is pointing out to me now is the 2 cups that are behind him, and the fact that you have the 2 of cups in the above energy. So it's like crying over what has gone wrong, like, oh, you know, my kid's doing this now, or, oh, my partner is still doing the same shit, or, oh, you know, I haven't lived my dreams. That's not going to do nothing for you. Like, crying over stuff that has gone awry is literally not going to do anything for you. It's not going to get you any closer to what it is that you're trying to get. The key is to see what it is that's missing, what it is that needs to be done, filling in the blank of that, and making the decision to look at your situation from another perspective moving forward. And that's what gives you power and dominion over your circumstance, as opposed to allowing it to have dominion over you, right? So that is my Aries people. With this being in relation to something romantic, we're going to look at that on Vimeo in the Lurkers Lounge. I can see where this can help if we have a meeting of the minds, but what we're going to be looking at over there is the mindset of this person, because just for the simple fact that if this is a partner, it's like I'm seeing that whatever the issue is the same thing. And the thing that I would want to uncover over there is seeing whether or not they're if they're, you know, if it's just kind of like a miscommunication and them not being aware, or if they're just like a jerk and they really not trying to change. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to move on to my Leos. I should probably write down the time, huh? Okay. Oh, Lord. My cards are tripping, y'all. Leo, 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 Leo. Oh. We have the 8 of Wands in the reverse. Interesting. So with Leos, I feel the thing that's making you guys a little pissed off this week is either being blocked, like communication being blocked between you and someone else, or the fact that there's no forward movement in your life right now, which in essence are one and the same. It's just being blocked by someone would be the manifestation of not moving forward with a person. But whatever it is in different facets of your life, that could be in your career, that could be in relationships, friendships, finances, what have you. It's just feeling like you're stuck and something is blocking you, and there not being the ability to move forward out of the situation that you are in. Now, with that being in reference to anger, we can say that feeling stagnated is what's pissing you guys off, but the key is why. You feel me? If we take into account what it is this card is saying, if we push a little deeper, what is the reason that you're really angry? You know what I'm saying? Why is that anger really being triggered? What is it that you are really afraid of underneath it all about being blocked, if that makes sense, right? So we're going to go ahead and jump in to you guys' energy for the week and see what is going on. Oh, wow, this is weird. Now, this is interesting. I don't know what's about to come out in these cards, but Leo, let me tell you what I just felt, though. My little empath kicked in right quick. Dude, the energy I just felt feels like it starts in my solar plexus, and it legit felt like a damn volcanic eruption of joy, but it felt like shock, okay? Which is an emotion I really don't feel very often. And the only reason why I have a reference for this, because I'm rarely if ever shocked about anything. The only thing I can say that I can liken this to that I literally experienced last month, and I have my daddy to thank for that, who's an Aries, by the way. My dad surprised me with a gift for my birthday. And for me, I love when people give me gifts that are meaningful, meaning you heard me say something in passing that you realized was very important to me. And my daddy got me an Apple Watch for my birthday, right? And it was all because of a conversation I was having to him about this fitness challenge that me and my friends were doing, and how my friends were ribbing me about being a cheap tourist. And one of my homegirls, who's actually a Leo, like, she was like, Princess is a tourist and she's cheap. So she's like, she ain't about to get no Apple Watch. And another one of my homegirls was like, well, what's cheap to Princess? And she was like, free. Right? Which is true, okay? I'm cheap. I can't lie. I'm like Mr. Krabs over here. But so I was telling that to my dad, like joking, and for my birthday my dad surprised me with an Apple Watch. Now usually, I don't know, somehow I just know when people try to get me stuff because they start acting all weird. But the feeling I just felt is like what I felt when my dad showed me the Apple bag, right? And I was like, and he pulls out the Apple Watch, and I was like, right? So that feeling from my solar plexus, that it shot up and it was like authentic surprise, that's literally what I just felt. So I would go as far as to say that regardless of whatever it is that comes out in these cards for you guys for this week, or what it is you guys are feeling coming into the week, I feel that's like fate is going to shift, and it's going to shock the hell out of you, where something is going to happen that you guys didn't expect in a very positive way. So let me uplift you with that. So now let's get into our cards. So first card that we have for Leos, if I can pick it up, we have the Knight of Pentacles in the reverse. That makes total sense. Looking at this with you guys, overall energy being the 8 of Wands in reverse, it's feeling stagnated. It's like you guys are waiting for something or someone and ain't nothing popping. You know what I'm saying? And I feel, to be quite honest, it's like I feel whatever this is you guys feel blocked off from, you've been waiting for a minute. So, I mean, if it's a person, you've been waiting for this person to contact you for a minute, ain't nothing popping. You know what I'm saying? Because it may not be that the person blocked you. It could just be that you guys are not communicating. And it's to the point now where you're starting to get pissed because it's like, what the F is going on? For others of you, it could be hearing back from a job. You know what I'm saying? And finances being kind of tight, and it's like trying to figure out why it is that you're not hearing back, right? Or even if it's just progressing in life in general, it's just feeling completely stagnated and stuck, right? Now, the challenge to overcome, ain't that some stuff, is the Wheel of Fortune. That is hilarious in a good way, because y'all gonna be mad. It's waiting on divine timing, dude. This is one of those situations where you being blocked is in your highest good. And best believe, trust me, I can say from experience, dude, that is probably the most irritating place to be in, because it comes to a point where you can have faith for so long, then you start getting drove, because it's like, spirit, you know, you looking at your bank account and things, and it's like, how is this in my highest good? Okay, we got this much money in the bank account, spirits. Hello, anybody home? You know what I'm saying? So I totally understand that. But the challenge, and I'm telling you guys, I know I'm preaching to the choir when I say this, because I myself struggle with this as well. It's trying to have faith in a situation that feels impossible. It's kind of like, spirit, if you really know the deal, if you really know my needs, you should have been came through yesterday. So how is it that you expect me to wait even more so? So trust me when I say, I know that this is not an easy deal, but the thing that I'm feeling energetically, it's like things are happening behind the scenes to get you into the right place. And as difficult as it is to trust, kind of pinging on what I said to Aries, you want to make sure that you're handling your end of the bargain, right? So if we're saying this in the sense of like jobs, you handling your end of the bargain is putting out your resume, applying for jobs, and going on interviews, right? How that pans out from there, that's one of those things. And I hope Aries is cross watching this, because this would be great advice for you all. The other half of this would be where spirit would take over. You know what I'm saying? You've done all that you can. All you can do is apply for the job, send out your resume, go on the interviews. The rest of that is up to divine timing and faith, right? So it's more or less like needing to trust the process, do what it is that you can. And y'all, man, either y'all dealing with Aries or y'all got Aries in your chart, because this is literally to me like a continuation of Aries reading, because their card going forward was the Hanged Man. So you guys might want to go back and watch that, because I feel like these two are kind of two sides of the same coin. So what it's saying is that it's surrendering to divine timing and knowing that you've done all that you can, and understanding that this stagnation is a part of the process, right? It's like you're not being blocked per se. And if you look at it as you being blocked or stagnated, it's in your highest good. So it's a need to change one's mental perspective in reference to that. So our past influence, we have the 5 of Pentacles in reverse, which is really, really good, especially if this is a financial issue, right? And I would even say for relationship as well, because as far as if this is a financial issue, and just to kind of speak energetically for a second, when I always talk about, and this is something y'all hear me say all the time, my is not is paradigm, that whenever you call something a different or new frequency or energy into your life that's different than the one that you've been existing in, the universe likes to fill voids. So what is not needs to manifest before what is, right? If we go even deeper into this and we talk about the spiritual realm is what is. Everything that exists in 3D is a byproduct of what's already existing in the spiritual realm, right? So we're living in the past tense of the spirit, right? Seeing the 5 of Pentacles in the reverse in your past tense energy is a super dope freaking energy to be in the past. Why? Because that means this is what's manifesting. The purpose for the stagnation that you guys have now, both in your overall energy and the present energy with the Knight of Wands, meaning that the physical, tangible sign or message that your fate has changed has not come to you yet. But seeing the Wheel of Fortune and seeing the 5 of Pentacles in your past tense energy, this is letting me know that energetically, your deliverance is on its way to you as we speak presently, right? So that means that you guys are existing right now in the is not, and the is matriculating towards you, right? So the key is needing to have faith as this works itself out, right? So it can manifest into your life. Now, if in a 3D sense, okay? So that means looming around your little auric field, it's in your energy, okay? So if we speak about this in a relationship sense, right? Like with another person, it would be the same thing. This blocked energy in an energetic sense, for some of you, this would help if I say it like in a 5D sense, I guess. That block has broken up. So now it's just taking time for that also, like this connection with this person to manifest in the 3D realm, right? Now you guys above energy, we have, the Death card. This can involve a Scorpio person, but that is exactly what I'm feeling. So you guys are going through a proverbial death right now. This is a transition. It's like everything right now is being cleared out, and it's that whole it gets worse before it gets better, is not is paradigm type of deal of what's going on. The underlying influence is the Queen of Pentacles. Well, so the way could be being cleared for two things. First, the Queen of Pentacles would represent you all, right? And I know y'all ain't no earth sign. Sorry about that. Just kidding. Or you can have earth in your chart. But seeing the Queen of Pentacles, this is a person who's very fruitful. It's baby empress. You know what I'm saying? This is someone who is, everything they touch grows. They're very nurturing. They nurture their finances. They're very resourceful, right? It's a person who is very good with finances, is a really great support system for other people. She's stable and she's secure, solo dolo, and that's whether if you're a male or a female, right? So this is the underlying influence. So in other words, this is what it is that's manifesting, right? The Queen of Pentacles does not have money troubles, even though, like a Taurus, she may be a little cheap. You know what I'm saying? She don't like to spend her money. She likes to invest it. You know what I'm saying? So this is the energy that's coming through. We're waiting on divine timing for that to manifest, but this is what it is that's coming up to replace this Knight of Pentacles in reverse energy that you guys are in presently. So all of this is happening because you guys are going through a transformation. So that's the reason why things seem so stagnated and dark right now, right? It's like, here with my analogies, it's like you guys are going through temporary like rigor mortis. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're a little stiff, stuck. Ain't nothing moving. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, moving forward, we have the Five of Swords in reverse. That's really good. The conflict is ending and the fight is over. I feel like this is the energy that you guys have felt or have been in for a long period of time, and take into account that in the overall energy, I was saying the card number for anger is 28 and 8 plus 2 is 10. That's the ending of a cycle. We have the Wheel of Fortune, 10 card, ending of a cycle. We have the Death card. That's about transition, ending of a cycle. You know what I'm saying? Then we got two fives here, the Five of Pentacles and the Five of Swords. 5 plus 5 is 10. It's another 10. So you guys are going through a major transformation. And even just looking at it as 5, 5. 5 is a number of a major transformation. So I feel like, and this is what it sounds like to me, Leo has been in an energy of a major mind fuck. And it doesn't necessarily have to involve another person. It's like, I literally feel like your life has been an epic mind fuck where you're just like, what the hell is happening? Like, whose life is this? Did I piss off God? What is happening in my life right now? I feel like that's what it's felt like. So that energy that I was feeling of that surprise is literally going to be that all of this is over. So I feel like that's going to start to matriculate and become very clear to you guys by the end of this week. Now, if this involves a person that we're talking about here, I feel like it's going to be a major shift, a major change, a major transformation, and a turnaround with a person. And this person would be with this Queen of Pentacles is representing. So of course it could be an earth sign person. Like I said, it could be a Scorpio person, or it could be a Taurus, Capricorn, or Virgo person, right? But it's going to be a major shift and a major change of fate in a partnership, right? So in our extended, we're going to look at that person and see what their mindset is, how they're thinking, and how it is that they're feeling about you and what's not or whatever to assist you in your decision making and if you would be interested or no, right? And I think we may look at two people just because for some of you this could be a person you guys have had dealings with, and I know for others of you you'd probably be interested in a new person. So what I'll do in the extension is I'll pull for both. I'll look at a potential new person, and I'll pick up the energy of an old person that you guys would be interested in as well. And for the new person, we'll do some of the initial cards, throw the dice of resonance to get their sign, and use my little people cards to get their physical characteristics. So now we are going to go on to my Saggies. What's happening, Saggies? And what's not or whatever. So we're going to start with an overall energy and then look at what's going on with my Sagittarius for the week, please. Spirit, anything they need to know, anything of utmost importance. Oh, I probably should write down that time too. All right. Whoa. Oh, dang. We got to hurry up with y'all, Sagittarius. We got 10% on this battery. My goodness. All right, Sagittarius. Sagittarius, what is going on with Sagittarius? All right, let's see. Overall energy for Sagittarius. Whoa, what is this? The Hierophant. Interesting. Are y'all angry at a Taurus? Hey, it's possible. You know what I'm saying? Or this could just be frustration or anger in reference to feeling that you need, or not that you need, but feeling forced into either a traditional commitment, a traditional work situation, or feeling almost pressured to be something that you're not, feeling the need to conform to something that you don't feel is really in alignment with you, right? So let's get into you guys' cards for the week. It's almost like a rebellion that I feel, but it's like an anger to, I don't want to say like a power that be, but I mean, that could be like an organization or a company, you know what I'm saying? Or just a Taurus person. So, I don't know what they did, y'all. I'm sorry. I love Sagittarius. Anyway, first energy that we have, if I could pick it up, my God. We have the Queen of Swords. This is challenged by the Two of Pentacles. Wow. So it's more or less not really feeling sure about this Queen of Swords figure. But I really want to say that this is you guys, even though this is an air sign person. It's more or less, I feel like it's being unsure. And whether this is a person or a circumstance, it's like being unsure on how it is that you want to move forward. But I kind of already feel like you guys have made your mind up about it, because it's almost like the energy that I feel in reference to this circumstance or this person is it's a very stifling energy. It feels almost like this person is trying to control you, and that's pissing you off. You know what I'm saying? So it's more or less not being sure about how you want to progress, but it's, and I want to say this the right way, it's almost like you've already made up your mind about it. You know what I'm saying? It's just the thing you guys are going back and forth on is speaking the truth or manifesting the truth in reference to this person, commitment, or circumstance. You know what I'm saying? And this kind of really feels like a boss to me. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I feel like you guys, like your mind is already made up in the fact that you feel like this person is an asshole, right? So I feel like it's a shitty boss, but it's like my mind is already made up that this person is an asshole. Like, I don't like them. I don't like this situation. It stifles me. You know, it makes me feel oppressed. But the thing you guys are mulling over for this week is how you should move forward with the way that you feel. So it's like, if this was a job, it would be, my boss sucks, but do I want to quit? I kind of do, but I got bills. You know, should I talk it over with them? I don't know. I don't want to lose my job. So that's kind of like the energy that I'm feeling. Now, the past influence, we have the 8 of Wands. So there is communication here. So this is someone I would say that you guys are in contact with. And to be honest, I'm heavily feeling this like this is work or organization related. You know what I'm saying? So, and I hear like nonprofit. So I don't know. It's like if you volunteer for a nonprofit, or if you're like on a board for a nonprofit or something along those lines. It's just a person. It's either the values of the company or the organization or this particular person that don't jive with you. And I feel like you guys have tried in the past to talk about it to clear things up, and the problem is still happening. So I feel like it's coming to a point now this week where you guys are feeling as if a decision has to be made, but really not knowing how to cope with that. But the thing that I do want to tell you that's of utmost importance is in reference to anger. I think it would behoove you to get to the root of the of what the anger is that you're feeling towards this person or this situation, because I feel like it's something helpful in how it is that you guys would move forward in that. You know what I mean? But it feels almost like an energy where you're seething. So it's kind of like what I was feeling with Aries, where I said it's like a nitpicky energy. Like, and not saying that this is literally what it is, but hypothetically, if it's like, oh, I just don't like that person, they just get on my nerves, it would behoove you with the decision that you need to make to move forward, right? And Spirit is telling me something else. It would behoove you with how to move forward if you were able to identify specifically what it was that is triggering this anger in you. Now, the other message that Spirit told me just now is that some of you in relation to a job and some of you with a relationship, it's a desire to move forward, but this person is acting as a block, right? For some of you, this is yourself that's acting as a block that's preventing you from moving forward. And what it's related to is a fear in reference to commitment. And I kind of said this with, I can't remember what water sign yesterday, but it was like, did I say that was, I can't remember. I want to say it was water signs. I don't remember. Was that a personal reading? Dang. Y'all, I read so much, I don't even know who it was I said that to. But it was something I said about Amy Winehouse, and I don't remember if that, whatever, it don't matter who it was. But anyway, I likened it to Amy Winehouse, and that might have been Libra. And I said in one of her songs, Love is a Losing Game, that she says that love is a fate resigned. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, whereas you're in a place to where you can dream about the future and the would have yous and what could be's in the future, it's like once you get into a relationship, it's like you kind of relinquish that. You know what I'm saying? Because you know who you're going to be looking in the face of for the rest of your life. You know what I'm saying? So for some of you, I feel a little bit of fear of that. If this is in relation to a person, it's almost like a reluctance to move forward, either because of past experiences, or this could be your person, like their reluctance to move forward in a commitment because of experiences that they've had in the past with marriages and with commitments. So it's kind of a reluctance for them. So they're kind of back and forth about it, like, you know, based in fear, you know what I'm saying? And that stagnation could kind of be upsetting you. You could be like your own worst enemy in a sense, where you guys are blocking your progression from moving forward because it's fears in relation to past experiences, and that could be kind of pissing you off. Or it could just be a person that's in you guys' space that's pissing you off because they're preventing you from moving forward. And the whole challenge this week is going to be making a decision like, do I stay or do I go? So hypothetically, if this is a commitment and the person is saying, you know, I don't want marriage, and that's what you want, it's making a decision of choosing yourself in this process, right? And you electing how it is that you're going to move forward. Now, the underlying influence is the Eight of Swords in reverse. Now, this is what I was feeling in reference to why it would behoove you to get to the root of the anger, because that's going to help you a lot in your decision making. So being clear of head and understanding what it is you're dealing with and why you're feeling what you're feeling. Is this person really trying to attack you? Does your partner really not want to progress forward in a commitment? You know what I'm saying? How is it that I'm my own worst enemy? That's what's going to make your choice easier moving forward and knowing what it is that you need to do. Now, your overall energy, we have the Three of Wands in reverse, so it feels like there's no progression forward. Now, the reason why you guys are feeling a little stuck here is because this needs to happen. It's a need to come out of your head, and sometimes we need to talk to other people about that. It's a need to come out of your head and to look at the situation objectively, because while you're in it and you're looking at it from a subjective view, we can't solve a problem with the same mind that created it. So until we clear this up and we get on stable ground and know how we want to move forward and what it is we're trying to move forward towards, that's when I feel like this Three of Wands is going to turn upright, right? Now, going forward, well, if I could not drop the card, we have the Ten of Wands in the reverse, which is really good, which means that you guys' burdens are going to be released in reference to this situation. So what I'm really seeing here, Sag, that's of utmost importance, in order for you guys to move forward, I feel like you guys need to get clear in your head of what you're doing, how, what's actually happening around you, so you can be clear of mind to make a decision that's in your best interest. So you guys are a tad bit stagnated right now, but any anger or frustration that you're feeling, it's a need to push through on that. And that's regardless if this is a job, if this is, you know, a person that you're dating, if this is a boss, whatever the case may be. It's a need to get very clear on your truth, what you're desiring, and how it is that you would like to progress forward, seeing if that's possible within this situation. And in the event that it's not, it's moving forward and what's in alignment with what you guys are desiring and releasing any burdens in reference to what it is you guys are leaving behind, right? So going on to our extended, in reference to our peoples of interest. So if this is romantic, the thing that I'm going to be looking at is this person's headspace in reference to this commitment or situation. So if this is a person that you guys are dealing with that you feel like aren't moving forward with the commitment, or why that is, or how it is that they're really feeling about you, that is what we're going to be looking at in the extended. But I hope that that has been of help to you guys. If you're about that life, the link should be below to follow me over to Vimeo. If not, I thank you guys for being here. Please let me know in the comments below if you like these, if you want me to keep them up. This is totally accidental. But y'all let me know if you dig them. But I love your freaking faces, and I will see you guys sooner than later. Deuces.
Energy, about to get in and fuck up the industry.